it's about to be. Step right up to the glass float pot, and soon you'll see the goblet. What, it's hot. Goblets and pendants and flames of fire. Oh, you're sure to satisfy your glass heart desires. Come join us now and see this feat as glass artist Scott Garver plays with the heat. Huzzah!
You guys, can we please give my dad a really big round of applause? I'll be honest with you folks, I do not ask him to come out and do that. He just does that. So thank you very much, man.
You're welcome, son. My lords and ladies, enjoy the show.
You guys always like to ask everybody a question. Do you guys know who invented glass blowing or where this stuff originated from? Really far out, don't worry, folks. I don't either. What do you think? Murano? We'll get to that in a second. You're really close. One patron this year said Mesopotamia. He's probably right on the money. Unfortunately, Mesopotamia is about 5,000 years before Christ. We don't have much information on this subject. It gets kind of bizarre. The thing that I do know is that there was a Roman emperor in the 1st century that taught some Venetian sailors about glass blowing. What these Venetian sailors did up into the 15th, 16th, even 17th century is phenomenal, the design techniques and the technological advances that these guys made with this stuff. You would know it as the island of Murano today. It's pretty interesting that no one knows who invented glass blowing. It kind of seems like mankind and glass blowing's been around since time began. Now there's two kinds of glass in the world, you guys. There's natural glass and there's man-made glass. When I talk about natural glass, when lightning strikes the silica sand beach, it makes some pretty interesting trinkets out of glass. The other kind of natural glass I'm talking about is called obsidian. It's some lava that's super cool. This stuff's been around for millions of years, and it's also glass. So somewhere along the line, mankind figured out that high temperature and silica sand makes the glass. Kind of brings us to where we're standing today. There's one thing that all the cultures and all the stuff we've just talked about had in common. And that has to do with the fire, you guys. Huzzah to the fire! The other thing I can tell you guys is I could not do what I do without the blacksmith. So huzzah to the blacksmith! Yeah, you guys, what I'm doing there is I'm going to add some shenanigans. You guys, what I'm going to do is get out the tip of that blowpipe. The problem is, if you go in and try to grab some hot glass with a cold piece of steel, that cold metal just sucks the heat out of the glass, makes it very hard to work here at what we call the gaffer's bench. Now once the glass cools off, I've got to reheat it in what we call the glory hole. The glory hole is about 1,800 degrees, maybe 2,000 degrees. I have no idea. The thing I do know, it's extremely hot in there. I've got to be very careful when I reheat that glass not to get it too hot. If I get it too hot, I lose the shape that I've made. And if the glass gets too cold out here, it's going to break. So it's really kind of a fine line. It's just getting it where I want it to go and losing it completely. Now you guys, I've got a couple tools I like to shape the glass with. My most favorite thing to use is just ordinary newspaper. What's sweet about this newspaper is it's absolutely free. It's everywhere in the world. I can make multiple shapes using my hands. Now I had this newspaper soaking in water all night long so it doesn't burn up instantly when I touch it to the 2,200 degree glass. So this is a really sweet thing to do. The other thing we have to shape the glass with are what we call cherry wood blocks. Once again, these blocks stay soaking in water so they don't burn up instantly. We use cherry wood because it's the cheapest of all the fruit woods. The fruit woods have a little higher sugar content in it, so it kind of caramelizes the blocks a little bit, once again, so the blocks cannot stick to the hot glass. The thing about these blocks is they're really expensive and they're stuck in this shape, so I really like that newspaper. Now this over here is a big piece of steel. We call that the marble table. I've got a little bit of busted glass on the marble table today. I'm going to make this a goblet. I'm going to use some of that colored glass in the top part of the goblet and the stem of the goblet. She's pretty young too, safety first. Wow, that's hot! Well played, my lord. Well, you guys, what I just did there is took what we call taking a gather. I gathered some of that hot glass and put it on the tip of the blowpipe. You guys can see if I stop spinning the blowpipe, gravity will pull that blob right on the ground. So centrifugal force is probably one of the biggest tools we use to shape this glass. And when this stuff cools off, it's basically as hard as steel. It's impossible to blow into. The next thing I'm going to do is get what we call a starter bubble. We also call this an expansion bubble. I realize it's going to be hard for everybody to see, but I'm going to blow into the tip of the blowpipe, and I trap my finger over the end. And what that's going to do is cause that air on the inside to expand. Once you get the expansion bubble, it really doesn't take much effort to puff this glass out from this point forward. Other thing I can tell you guys is anytime it's glowing red like that, it's above 1,000 degrees. Anytime it loses that red color, it's below 1,000 degrees. I realize that's kind of vague. You guys will see me hold my hand near it. I can feel the radiant heat coming off of there. It really tells me how hot that glass is or how cold it is. It requires a fair amount of patience to blow a piece of glass. If I rush the process or skip the step, we'll never make it to the end. I'm going to let this cool off a little bit. We'll do a second gather, add a little bit of color, and this will just end up being the top part of the goblet.
Hey guys, I'll work with these guys over here. We'll do better, okay? No problem.
One job.
They're not following instructions very well.
Well, hey guys, here's a question for you. Is glass a liquid or is glass a solid? No, there's gotta be one. What was the answer? Liquid.
Liquid is correct, my lord. Glass is a crazy material, you guys. It appears that it's a solid. The thing is, the atoms and molecules are moving so slowly, it just appears to be a solid. When we add some heat to it, we excite those atoms and molecules. The hotter we get the glass, the more fluid it becomes. The kids in college today are being told it's an amorphic solid. That's just a fancy name for a liquid. Wow, that's hot!
Nice! Oh, they're booing you!
Well, there might be a little slight bit of competition in the
I have
crowd
a
today.
feeling that it does sound like you guys are saying, hey, you guys are getting warm, you guys gotta put some more effort in. I think that's what they're trying to say. Is that what it is, guys?
Not budging.
You guys, eventually we're going to have to knock the goblet free from the blowpipe. The next thing I'm going to do is start cutting in what we call a jack line. The jack line is a very important part of the process. If you don't have a jack line, you really can't get that glass off the blowpipe without destroying the glass piece. Now we call it a jack line because this tool here is a pair of jacks. Right at the tip of that blowpipe, I'm going to pinch that glass down. I'm going to puff it out, pinch it down a few times. I'll show you guys over here what I do. You guys will see where that jack line will come in handy in a little bit. That's really all I'm going to do for that top part of the goblet, so now we can go ahead and assemble the stem.
Wow, that's hot.
Nice. You guys are rocking over here. Do we still have to work on it?
We still have time to work on it.
We still got time, okay. We're gonna have to get a judge and figure out which side is the best, so.
This side's winning over here.
volunteer.
Okay. Wow, that's hot.
Yeah, see?
They're distracting us.
That's all you got?
Yeah, theirs is once the door is closed. So theirs is open, theirs is closed. So you know how it works.
I don't want to be the judge of something. I don't know how it works.
That's all right, my lady. We make this up as we go along. There's no rules. You're just simply guidelines.
Exactly. I'm right by the glory hole. I'm good.
See, everybody was thinking it, but nobody wanted to say it. Huh? I see everybody's faces. Yeah. Hey, just so you guys know, you guys are a really great group. You really are. Thanks for coming down to see us. Really great group. Thanks. I'll still try to get these guys to do better.
Good luck.
Hey, you know, we have something on him, right? So we can start using his nickname if they don't
I'm
start
not doing it.
doing it.
Okay. I don't know nothing.
I'm with you. Yeah, you're pretty good at that.
It's kind of hard working outside. I have to adjust to the wind, the humidity, the barometric pressure, the temperature.
Doing a good job.
The thing about this morning is it was about 33 degrees, so this is the coldest it's been in 7 weeks. So it takes a little bit while, a little longer to heat it up. It cools off a little bit faster than I would want it to.
Don't jinx it.
It will.
Hey, look!
Now you guys, that stem I've added on there is way hotter than that top bubble. What I can do is kind of come over here to the glory hole and I can blast that top bubble with some heat. That'll give that stem a chance to chill out and set up a little bit.
You gotta watch these two. They like the glory hole too much.
Yeah, this is where the magic happens.
I hope you do.
I don't know.
Now you guys, we can go ahead and make the foot to the goblet.
Remember what happens in the ground goes out in the real world too. I got time for your ass.
Oh, that's hot! I think you're all very phenomenal. Like, once again, thank you very much, folks. May you all be rewarded in the afterlife for your kindness and generosity. Wow, that's hot!
He's nicer than I am. There we go. See? I knew we could do it, guys. Hey, you know, if anybody else has any other questions, feel free to ask them, please.
How do you know it's Ferrari? Is there liquid gas?
How many times does he have to keep telling you that?
Oh, they missed us, you guys.
They're always trying to get us. Yes, he did. He answered it exactly how it was said. Lord, how long have you been doing this?
For about 7 minutes now, or 9 minutes.
I mean, all your life or what?
24, maybe 25 years. And once again, you guys, the thing about it is that foot is way hotter than that top bubble. I'm going to have to get the temperatures out a little bit more. And the next part is what we call the transfer. I get to knock that goblet free from the blowpipe. And generally when something bad happens or something doesn't work out very well, it'll happen during the transfer. You guys, I get to make what we call a punty. That punty is going to assist me with the next step. And this punty is just going to be a temporary holding stick.
Is it good? Yeah.
Wow, that's hot!
Yeah!
Okay, guys, sorry, we have new people here. They don't know what to say, so I'm going to school them again, okay?
No freebies.
They say when the door opens, ooh, that looks hot. You guys, when the door closes,
If you're making
oh, that's nice and warm. Okay, now you've heard it. I want to hear it as well as they do it. You guys are phenomenal. Can you guys come back every demonstration, please?
I charge you $100.
It just depends how cold it is.
Wow, that's hot! Nice work, you
They got a little confused. They started early. Oh, wait a minute. That's the last time.
We won!
You guys, what I'm doing right here is just super chilling that jack line. You guys saw me put that in the beginning when I made that bubble. That rapid heat loss puts a bit of stress right there. Now you guys, unfortunately, where I just removed that blowpipe is the coldest part of the glass piece. It's going to take me a few moments to warm that up. Then we get to puff it out, flare it open, and we'll be finished. You guys, we're almost getting close to the end. The biggest thing I have to worry about now is to not let that punchy get too cold. If I bump that punchy on anything or have too hard of a landing, it'll drop it right on the ground. So it takes a bit of precision work at this point. I've got to be very careful and pay attention to what I'm doing.
Because if it breaks, we have to do this all over
That's
again.
not true. I don't mind.
And just so you guys know, everybody did a great job and everybody wins because they get to see Scotty at work. So,
You guys, thank you so much for coming down. Really enjoy you guys making this fun, so thank you very much. Now you guys, what I'm going to do next is I'm going to take a tool called the Soffietta. This is one of the tools those Venetians came up with. It enables me to blow into this bubble without it being attached to the blowpipe. It's probably one of the biggest technological advances besides the blowpipe.
he just wanted to show you he can speak exactly language.
You could also call it a puffer, or you could call it a Sophie. But it is called a Soffietta.
I know, right? Everything.
Huzzah to the glass blower!
Huzzah!
That's my breather, guys.
Where's the dad?
He's inside.
Right here!
And this is wrestling.
Arms behind the counter.
There's the old man. He's standing next to his sister. He brought him out of the cave.
trouble now. If Mom comes out, you know we're in trouble.
Then we're having too much fun and we might want to tame it down.
Totally worth it to come get my bat.
Hey guys, I just want to let you know too, you can buy this goblet off.
We are not done yet, my lord. Please give me another moment.
But you cannot take it home until tomorrow.
I'm just gonna hold it.
You'll find out why.
I know.
Hey, these guys out there are having baseball clubs. I want to join them for the parties today.
Glory hole.
We got the Joker back here. He's cracking some jokes. She just likes the glory hole, that's all. That's why she's so happy. She does laugh every time.
It's like two rats. Glory hole. Glory hole.
There's always one, Lord.
There's always
You guys, and once again, there's one way you can make a goblet from the fire right there. You guys, I really appreciate that applause, but we're still not finished. A lot of traumatic things can still happen at this point. The biggest problem now is the lip of that goblet's way hotter than the foot. It probably brings up the single most important part to the whole process. It's called glass annealing. What we do is we've got our glass annealer set at around 900 degrees. Being that this goblet has multiple temperatures in it, it adds quite a bit of stress to the glass. So what we do is we still have to knock it free from the punty. And then we rest it at 900 degrees. What that does is makes everything the same temperature. It relieves the stress, and it's going to take probably 30 hours to cool it down to room
30
temperature.
hours.
So I'll give it one more blast of heat. Let's see if we can't get it off the punty.
Which is why you can't take it until tomorrow.
So once again, my lord, we are still not finished with the piece.
My Lord, I have faith
Start the
in
bidding now.
Now you guys, what I'm doing here is I take a cold piece of steel, I'm holding that on my punty. And what that's doing is sucking the heat out of the attachment spot. It puts a lot of stress right there. Anyway, we still gotta go to 900 degrees, you guys. Probably the most unpleasant part of the whole job.
My Lord, they're just too excited. They
I
can't
know, look
wait.
at that. It's like the upload.
No. And that's all I gotta say. Thank you so much for coming down and joining our crowd. I'd love for you to walk through the Goblet's fire booth behind me. I've made a lot of very interesting things for you guys to look at. Who knows, maybe someone would like to go home with you guys. But thank you very much, you guys.
Hey guys, one more big hand of applause for Johnny G. Thanks guys. Hey, if you guys had a wonderful time or just had fun, feel free to throw some in our tip jars. It helps feed